Hello and welcome. You are watching the Vishwashanti Darshan channel, and we have been bringing you videos on peace, on spirituality, and above all, on science. We are very honored to have in our campus today a very eminent urologist and andrologist, a surgeon who has made a name for himself not only in India but all over the world. Please join me as I welcome in our studios Dr. Anil Bradoo.
प्यार हुआ इकरार हुआ है प्यार से फिर क्यों डरता है दिल प्यार हुआ इकरार हुआ है प्यार से फिर क्यों डरता है दिल
कहता है दिल रास्ता मुश्किल मालूम नहीं है कहाँ मंजिल कहता है दिल रास्ता मुश्किल मालूम नहीं है कहाँ मंजिल.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us here today.
My pleasure.
I'll set the ball rolling by asking the very typical question. Every parent in India wants their child to become a doctor. It's either doctor, engineer, lawyer, and I think that mentality is that if my child is a doctor, his life is set. So your step into the field of medicine, was it because of parental pressure? Was it because of default, by design? What made you step into the field of medicine?
Well, a very interesting question, but it was not exactly like that. So I had a very fun-filled childhood. So my childhood was least interrupted by anybody. I was happy-go-lucky child. I used to play often. I used to be out of the house more often than not. And luckily for me or for my parents, I was good in my school. I was good in my education. I never disappointed anybody. And not that anyone had any expectations from me. So I came from a home where academics was not at the forefront. My father had struggled through his youth. He lost his father at a very young age, and he had to take care of 6 brothers, and he had to shift from his hometown in Srinagar to Delhi, and then from Delhi to Mumbai. And he built his office and his work from the grassroots level. So for him, working from 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 p.m. or 12 midnight was the norm. So there was hardly times that I must have spent time interacting with my father. But at the same time, because I had the opportunities which came my way, and I think the most important thing I would like to say is that the type of school I shifted from my primary to my secondary school, I think that played a very important role in my life. And I think a personality or a character or the confidence which a person gets, he gets not only from his background from home, what he gets from his home, but he can get from his schooling. And I think in my case, it was purely my schooling which helped me think about academics, thought that I should compete, made me confident about coming first, say for example, participating in a debate, participating in a dramatic competition, participating in a sporting competition, raising my hands up every time there was an opportunity. And yes, the teachers would say yes. If he says yes, let us pick him up. So that is how I learned to compete with the best in that school, and was given the encouragement and the confidence by my teachers and my peers. I still remember that my school teacher, long time, I was in my 7th or 8th standard I think, and he said, Anil, what would you like to become? And I had said at that time, I really didn't have an answer. And to tell you honestly, what I liked at that time was fun. So movies, films, songs, they were the major attraction for children. I mean, for anyone at that time. We had no other way to enjoy life except playing out on the streets next to our homes, or seeing movies, or being interested in what is happening in movies. So I was good in dramatics and debates at that time. In fact, I remember in standard 10th itself, I had written 2 plays. And I was asked by the principal to come to a meeting, and he had actually asked me, would you do a play? And this was in the 10th standard. Mind you, nowadays in 10th standard, no parent or no child himself will say he wants to do anything except going for class and preparing. But at the peak of 10th standard, I remember the principal calling me in a meeting and saying, Anil, there is a celebration of the school, and we would like you and to be participating in a way to do a play. Will you do that? And I said, yes, of course, sir. And yes, father. He was Reverend Father at that time. I said, yes, we'll do it. And they didn't have a clue that what we were thinking about. All I asked him is, I have only two conditions. One condition is 10 days you will let me practice in the auditorium, and all the boys, we were a boys' school only, all the boys in the class who are participating in the dramatics will be given leave for those days. So they'll come to school at 9 in the morning, 9 to 4, they will all practice for 10 days. So that permission was granted. What the principal didn't know is that I didn't have a play. That we actually wrote the play.
Okay.
In those 2 weeks' time, by the time the direction was given, I wrote the play. I wrote the script of the entire play, which was, of course, passed through one of the teachers who used to take part, was in charge of dramatics and presentations in school. And when she okayed it, we were ready to practice. So we did a play at that time, and it was not one play. In that entire year, I did 2 plays, which were written by me, which the entire dialogues were written by me, all characters were put up, I directed the play and had put it up on stage. So I thought, well, this is good fun in life to do. But the teacher told me that, Anil, you have some qualities which are rare to find. One of the qualities you have is of being a good leader. Because you're not always thinking of yourself, you're always thinking of even those who are not gifted, who are not talented. You're able to make friends with them, you're able to pick them up, you're able to take them with you, and you're able to do things with them. And these are very good qualities. And I think these qualities are something which you should use as a leader in your field. And none of them, one of them actually told me you would be good as a chartered accountant because I was good in mathematics.
Okay.
And the other told me you have a good memory. So maybe you may become a good doctor. But barring that, I don't think I really thought much about what I was going to do. Purely, I did well in academics, and I think our hallmark those days was doing good in your SSC 10th standard examination or scoring well in your 12th standard examination. And you were domiciled in the same city, so you had all the prerogatives. If you did well, you could go on for what you want. So I think it was purely coincidental that I happened to do well consistently. I got the marks I wanted, and the first thing I said is, okay, just like I put my hand up for everything, I said, let me put my hand up for medicine and join medicine. Believe me, no one in my family had been even remotely connected with any doctor for maybe 2 generations.
Okay.
No one knew what a medical field entails. I was so ignorant myself that even when I joined medicine first MBBS, I thought the subject which is going to go on for 5 years.
Oh gosh.
And I didn't realize that this subject is going to get over in 1 year.
Okay.
So I was quite innocent and ignorant both. But I think it's just thinking positive. And as I said in the beginning, it's the confidence and the encouragement of positive thoughts. That everything you do, you will do as well as you can. And there's no need for you to be worried that you'll fail in what you're doing. I think that's the only thing which has helped me join medicine for that point of view. The other thing is, because I was enjoying being with people, I would like to be friends with people. I could talk even to the person who I couldn't get along with very easily. So I think talking to patients' relatives, talking to an outsider is something which probably was inbuilt in me. And I think
and that's a skill people need to learn.
Those characteristics probably helped me become a doctor or enjoy being a doctor much more.
So doctor is being very, very modest. But what I can gather with the exuberance and the passion with which he has just told me this story, so I think you've actually highlighted the importance of 2 very important people in our lives. One, our teachers, how they influence us and how they shape us, and 2, the doctors. So in spite of Dr. Saab not having anybody from the medical field in his family, what I could glean was that your parents had a business and you were the first one in 2 generations to go into the field of doctor. So we'll say it was completely by design or completely by default, and you...
I must admit one thing. I think my father had a very important role to play in my decision making in many other ways. My father himself wanted to seek higher education, but because of his circumstances, he could not pursue so. So he felt that his son, and I was his only son, was doing well in school, and he should have the opportunities and he should do something which is different. he himself felt proud of the fact that I was choosing a line, because I could have easily, it could have served all his purpose by me joining his business and then being of help to him future in his career.
Absolutely.
And taking care of, what happens in business families. But he felt that he has a chance and he should educate himself and he should do much more. Of course, he didn't realize at that time that from first MBBS to doing my MCH in urology, it is 12 long years. That is uninterrupted. That is, if you go on the ladder without any interruption, 12 long years to go through an education, and at the end of it, you're still seeking a job and an opportunity and you're nowhere. That he didn't know at that time. So I think towards the latter part of my building my career in my academics, he did feel, God, I didn't know, why he has to suffer so much going through his education. But I think I enjoyed my whole process. It was fun. I think learning is a great process, and I think challenges are a great process. And I think they come in all forms and shapes, and you take the opportunities and you make the best of what you get. I think that's what.
Absolutely.